This is an emergency message from the planet Kemble. We're trapped here since our space rocket crashed, leaving us stranded after we came here on a mission to do research for a podcast. A mission to the unknown. Or not. No, call it a Dalek cutaway. Wait, no, that makes no sense.
Rope! I've just brushed up against this plant, and now I've got a thorn in my hand.
Shush! I'm recording our emergency beacon. Where was I? Yes, we've suffered terribly. We've had to eat bugs to survive. Paul died on day 2.
Yeah, actually, I'm feeling a bit better now.
Don't interrupt. All we can do is hope for rescue.
Look, it's the TARDIS.
We're saved.
It can't be. It's the Jon Pertwee Doctor.
Oh, please be quiet.
Fair enough.
Hello, and welcome to Time Ram. This is not the podcast that killed your father. This is the podcast that is your father. My name is Barry Williams, and I'm joined for this episode by my co-hosts, Mr. Paul Ferry.
Goodbye.
And Mr. Rupert Ruth.
Maybe.
Greetings. Good.
Hello.
I thought I'd get a goodbye in early because it's a nice short one this week.
Just skipping to the end already. Are you the new Pamela Nash? You've just wiped this already.
Indeed. So, yes, I should explain the concept of the show, which is that we take a random number generator and we generate a number from 1 to 13. And that gives us our doctor. In this case, we've rolled a number 3. We've got Mr. Jon Pertwee. And then we roll the number generator again, and we've got the number 19, which has given us Mission to the Unknown, famously a one-episode story, which doesn't actually have the Doctor in it. So this immediately creates some questions in my mind. Does it create questions in your
mind?
1
or 2.
Well, there's 2 ways we can do this. This is a really simple way, which is that it has nothing to do with any other story ever. And literally we just transcribe the production to 1972.
Yeah.
Or that it leads into a Pertwee Dalek story, which we may not get. We probably will. Let's face it, we probably will.
Yeah.
But it'll be Dalek, or the Daleks, or something.
Daleks in Manhattan.
Something that very much doesn't have them as a spacefaring force. It will be a really early one, you know, or one of them on their own.
That's it. I mean, one possibility would be to introduce Jon Pertwee to the story and expand it, maybe. So why would you do that to us?
Not to 6 episodes.
It feels the other way feels like cheating.
Cheating the audience, not cheating your co-hosts.
Well, I suppose you could just have scenes with.
We thought we meant something to him. That's all. I'm just saying this, that we thought we meant something to him, but clearly we don't. And you do.
You could just have scenes on with, you know, Jon Pertwee and Joe on Earth, and occasionally he's turning on the time scanner and going, "Oh, that doesn't look good."
We just keep our fingers crossed. The Dalek master plan ends up sort of somebody after Pertwee. So even if it's a lead into like Jodie Whittaker's with that Dalek master plan.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Do we take the risk because we know we can't have it for Hartnell. So the only other, it is narrowed down. We are likely to get it after Pertwee.
Yeah, that's right. It could only be Troughton or.
Therefore, it will be Troughton naturally. Yeah.
In which case, all bets are off. But
I thought of an idea.
Okay.
It's a 10th anniversary special. It's a one-off episode of Doctor. It's like you do nowadays, right? This is like Time of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Was it Time of the McGann one? Except it's a whole episode.
That's Night of the Doctor.
Night of the Doctor. This is like Night of the Doctor, right? Except that it's set in the in the Who universe, and this happened or may happen or refers to a Troughton story that happened. And aren't we being clever because that'll lead into the 3 Doctors, which we're not going to get? So
I mean, that's the idea that occurred to me, was that maybe it's season 9 and they think they're getting 25 episodes. And the last minute, someone tells Barry Letts, "Oh, you're getting 26 episodes."
Yeah.
So he has to come up with an extra episode on the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
why don't we lead into the anniversary celebrations
Yeah.
and do a little dark teaser? Terry Nation's back on board. We'll get him to write something.
Absolutely. It's a one-off kind of summer special, as a prelude to the main season starting later in the year.
It could be that Terry Nation sort of have said, "Oh, I'll only come back if I can do a story that's just got Daleks in." No Doctor, just Daleks.
He wants to use it to take a pilot to America for his bloody Dalek series, which he's been trying to get off the ground for the last 7 or 8 years by this point.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
He's got nowhere. He's reluctantly come back to Doctor Who and said, "All right, you can have the Daleks again." And they've gone, "Hurrah!" Except this will all fall apart when we get like 10 Dalek stories in season 6.
Yeah.
But it could all fit quite nicely.
Yeah, so he's got Mark 7 and Sarah Kingdom that he needs to use and things. So this is going to a prequel to the Destroyers that he already got in a cupboard somewhere.
It's a prequel to the Destroyers. So we've got a get out clause. If Master Plan happens in the Troughton era, then this is a prequel to Terry Nation's The Destroyers. I mean, that 1973 series that in the Time Ram universe was made by Barry Letts and Terrence Dicks in place of Moonbase 3.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
And Terry had to shut up because, all right, there, we've made the Destroyers. Now stop it. Go back to your man, Sean. Put your slippers on. Look at your Daleks. Right? You've got a lot of them.
You could even have Mark 7 in it instead of Mark Corey. And
why?
Then it's the sort of thing you would do in 1972.
Well, Mark 7's not going to have a problem with a Varga plant. It's going to prick him and he's going to go, "So fucking what, Android?" And break it.
Does Mark Corey get pricked by a Varga plant? I think it's just garbage, isn't it?
No, he doesn't actually. No, he gets exterminated. But at least there's no danger to him. He's just kind of strolling through it all going, "Mark 7," because he's going to be a bit, be a bit bionic like that.
Oh yeah.
And people are dying around him, and he's going, "You just shot my mate, and now I've got a thorn in my hand, and I'm turning into a cactus, and you're an android. I don't like you."
Go ahead, time round.
Mark 7, Moonbase 3.
I just thought it might be a way of differentiating it slightly from the Hartnell version.
Well, all right, but then we're going to have Sarah Kingdom in it as well.
Oh, that's just madness. Why would you have Sarah Kingdom in it?
Because we may never get Sarah Kingdom. In fact, we're not going to get her, are we? Or are we? Well, no, I suppose she comes with Master Plan, doesn't she? She's self-contained to Master Plan.
She's rather, yeah.
So, if we get a Pertwee story, then it's Joe and Sarah Kingdom.
Yeah.
Is it Sarah or Sarah?
I always thought it was Sarah.
They call her both.
Do they?
In the story, yeah, they do. Peter Purvis says one thing, Hartnell says another. This isn't unusual, but it settles down in later episodes. But yeah, she's Sarah. Who knows?
Presumably, at some point she went, "Who am I?"
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Hartnell went, "I don't know." Went on to have a whiskey, and Peter Purvis tried to shag him.
He actually did, didn't he? I think, according to his...
He actually did, yes. Yes, it wasn't tried at all. Peter Purvis shagged her. Facts on this programme.
Academic, I think we'll have to cut that.
It's in his biography.
He discusses it. I mean, he
basically kind of goes, "Oh yeah, I shagged Maul, I shagged Dodo, I shagged Sarah Kingdom. I think he shagged Katerina as well."
Yeah.
So that was fairly fast working.
Oh yeah. No, he was the boy, wasn't he? He was,
he was the boy. Yeah.
He got around a bit. Yeah.
Anyway, this isn't about Mission to the Unknown.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk us through it, Baz?
We should go into Mission to the Unknown. So
take your leisurely way to talk us through the one episode of story we have.
Yes.
We're not going to be racing through this like we did.
Take your time.
No.
Fill it in. Give us detail. Tell us what.
Paint the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do design. I'll tell you what. I'll do design. It's Roger Limington. So it probably looks like. Actually, it looks like Planet of the Daleks. There's a design done.
Yeah. Can I just say before we start, something occurred to me when I was doing my minimum of research for this.
Bare minimum of research. That's what I like to hear.
I was thinking like Mission to the Unknown. It's a bit like Out of the Unknown, isn't it? In stylistically, and I sort of looked up where it stood in terms of dates.
Mm-hmm.
And the first episode of Out of the Unknown and Mission to the Unknown were in the same week.
Wow. That's big. That's in
October
unknowable.
1965.
So the first episode of Out of the Unknown, that would be the one with Hannah Gordon on Mars.
Yeah.
Sort of blacked up.
That was on the 4th of October, 65, and Mission to the Unknown was on the 9th of October, 65.
Mission to the Unknown, I think, would have benefited from Hannah Gordon strolling around in that kind of miniskirt thing, wouldn't it? You know, looking a bit sweaty, frankly. Yeah. I don't know what she's doing there, just having a stroll. You all right? Yeah, Kemble. No, cool. Mind the Varga plants. I'm down with them. With my Varga plants. Maybe she fertilizes them, tends the Varga plants for the Daleks. They haven't got a gardener, right? Actually, no, the Daleks have got a gardener, haven't they? Because they say to the Thals, look, hey, we grow our own food in our massive greenhouse.
Where did they get that from?
So one, that means Daleks eat. Two, therefore Daleks excrete. And two, the Daleks are actually quite kind of green-fingered. Facts.
Yeah.
It's uncompromising.
All sorts of things we don't really know about the Daleks, isn't there? Yeah.
Growing the Varga plants, Dalek thrower one day thought, I will go and grow attack plants, and went and grew attack plants and did little Blue Peter type segments on Dalek TV about them going, attack plants, raise their suckers and go, attack plants all over the city. And then they go, why do we need them? We have guns. These are ranged weapons. Your attack plants are useless. And Dalek thrower goes back to his shed.
Presumably all Daleks, they're sort of trundling around on the toilet, really, aren't they?
There must be. Yeah.
Just on the pot all the time.
Where's the food?
Isn't there some reference to a Dalek sewer in that Matt Smith story?
There is,
but it's dead Daleks.
Yeah, it's not Dalek shit.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Maybe Dalek shit's the one. I know we called him Dalek Cutie, didn't we?
It should be.
It's the one who's going, but no, he's Dalek Cutie. Hey, maybe we can name all the Daleks.
It could be Dalek shit in the time wrap.
He can come back in this.
Yeah. Maybe Dalek shit's in this for his one-off appearance.
This is the Doctor. Present time, the High Council Keeper of the legacy of Rassilon. Defender of the laws of time. Protector of Gallifrey.
The story begins on Kemble. We're panning across a jungle, which is obviously a nice set somewhere, and we see, I think it's Barry Jackson. Yes, Garvey, who is lying on the floor, but then he sits up and he starts talking to himself. He's saying, must kill.
It's like actually watching it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you're there.
Being there in 1965, looking at the Radio Times, going, that Out of the Unknown looks interesting as well. It's got Hannah Gordon there. I like her.
That's only 4 days. Why aren't we watching that?
It's vivid. It's vivid, listener. This is what you keep coming back for, isn't it?
So the irony is, this is only 7 years later. You could still have Barry Jackson in it.
We've totally got the same cast. We don't need to change anything.
Yeah.
There's no room. There's no room for our favourites.
There's no room for time ramblers.
Oh, can we not have Prentice Hancock in it?
No,
we cannot.
Well, yes, but only as a Varga plant, or a planetarium.
It could be a planetarium. Yeah,
it could be Malfa. But then I think we can keep all the original cast of them as well.
You could, but it's just getting a bit boring at that point.
Okay, so obviously Giron's Helen Mirren.
I'm the senior officer here. I'll decide what's relevant.
Yeah, Helen Mirren's in it. I mean, I assume she was playing a Dalek, but okay, fine.
Giron.
How old was Helen Mirren in 1965?
I dread to think.
She's only been about 17,
Well,
isn't
enough to play Giron. How old's Giron? Who knows?
Oh, it's not 65, is it? We're in the 70s now.
Yeah,
we're in the 70s. That's true.
We're in 72.
Yeah.
72. Well, 73 if we're doing a prequel to the 10th anniversary season.
I thought it was still season 9, so I would have said 72. But I mean, I'm open for.
Well, I think it was made in 72 and then shown in 73.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
Okay, yeah.
Does it exist? I suppose it would exist. Is it only black and white though?
Yeah.
Has it got chroma dots, or was it a Betamax from America? Who knows?
I imagine it's got chroma dots.
It'll have chroma dots. Yeah, that's good.
They probably didn't show it in America. They were like, "What the hell is this?" You know?
Yeah.
And look up when Helen Mirren was born. Hang on.
She's old enough by 1973. So we're fine. She's been in Hero Stratus by this point. Have you seen Hero Stratus?
She was born in 45. So yeah. So
no problem with her playing Giron.
Helen Mirren. That's Giron. Yeah. That's the thought to conjure with, isn't it?
That's great, isn't it? Exactly the same costume as well. You can't see it. Exactly the same.
I finished. No, I have not. So shut up and sit down.
So we cut to Corey and Lowry working on their rocket ship.
Mm-hmm.
So Lowry's the captain of the ship, and he's not terribly happy at being there. They've crashed on this planet, and his crewmate Garvey has gone missing. So he's not very pleased.
You know something I'd love to know about the rocket ship in the original?
Mm.
Is the interior set inside the exterior set?
It is TARDIS-like.
Or was it somewhere else in the studio? Well, no, I think it could fit. It's just that you'd have to build a lot of internal bracing and metal work in it to brace that and make it stand. That's not going to be that heavy.
Well, I mean, if you look at the set, I mean, I've watched this in the version that some students made recently, which seems fairly accurate. And obviously, they're standing at the tail fins of this rocket, and I'd say those tail fins are no more than about 6 foot across. And then when they're inside the rocket and they're having a conversation in there, they're in a set which is clearly about 10 or 15 feet across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking only the original stuff here. This is facts.
Well, that looks pretty accurate to the photos I've seen.
It's not. It is in many ways, but no.
Okay. Educate me.
Oh, it's kind of like it's sort of 70% there. It's something. It's the one thing that irritates me about it, and I don't want to be down on it because I think it's a fantastic thing. I love that it exists. I love they did it. But it's kind of like you've got it 70% accurate. The extra 100%, and then you've got something that looks. We could have done it. Basically, we could have got the costumes and shit right, including Mr. Christmas Tree Cone Terror thing. I love him. I think he kills with sound or something like that, kind of weird ass hissy whispers that just make your flesh melt, and he glides with her as he goes past, turn to mummies. Be great. I'd do a story about him with a heartbeat, or her, or it. I don't know what it is. Centurion. Played in our version, of course, amazingly enough, by Laurence Olivier. There's one only heard in two appearance. Again, like Helen Mirren, no lines.
Yeah, completely unrecognisable.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Corey and Lowry? Who would be playing them?
Well,
can we make Corey Mark 7? Because
I keep brilliant, drop Mark 7.
Well, I could drop Mark 7, but he'd be fine because he's an android.
No one likes Mark 7. No one knows anything about Mark 7. He's just a.
If only we could quit Mark 7.
I had long since. I never took up Mark 7 in the first place. I'm afraid I'm not a fan of Mark 7. I vastly prefer it when you put the word Blake's in front of it. I think it just works better. But so I thought we're having them played by the original cast, aren't we? If we've got Barry Jackson, then we're not having
Barry Jackson. Okay.
Well, you mentioned Barry Jackson. You brought Barry Jackson into it, so
just because I remembered it was Barry Jackson, I was quite pleased with myself.
Well, it's Barry Jackson then, so why can't it be the other two?
Well, I suppose it could.
Well, who do you want then?
I don't know.
You want to fill the time, don't you? You want to fill the time.
I want to fill the time.
Story. I understand. Well, who knows? Gareth Hunt.
Gareth Hunt, yeah. Okay.
Well, Gareth Hunt and his 1974 guys with his massive porn star tash from Planet of the Spiders as Special Agent Mark Corey and his was hair.
Yeah, everyone would have that hair, wouldn't they, in 72?
Because, Jason King's on telly at the moment. Scary enough.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of him, Jason King. Yeah.
Or is it Peter Wingard?
Peter Wingard, yeah, with the big hair and the
with
tash.
The big hair and the tash. Being
and the frilly shirt,
Mark Corey, and being terribly kind of diffident about it. But the Daleks apparently are coming over here. But there's a marvelous thing. There's Hannah Gordon. Have you seen Gear On? I tell you, there's a lot going on there. Gear On, indeed. Well, it's turning to Leslie Phillips. I don't know what it's turning into.
I've heard about your Dalek master plan, and frankly, it stinks. The same thing stunk, wasn't he, as Jason King?
Yes, actually, yeah. Which he must have done, considering the amount he smoked.
Yes.
And I say that as a smoker. The amount of smoking and drinking that goes on in there, whenever it's been parodied in things, it's totally accurate. It's just stop for a second, take in a bit of oxygen and fluid that doesn't have alcohol in it, Jason, because your hair will fall out. Oh, it already has. So, all right, so is it Peter Wingard then as Mark?
Yeah, let's have Peter Wingard. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Well,
yeah.
When was the last time that was said?
Special guest star, Peter Wingard.
Special guest star, Peter Wingard. Peter Wingard, Barry Jackson.
And who's Lowry? Who's playing Lowry?
Lowry. Which one is Lowry? Is Lowry? Oh, Lowry's
the captain of the ship.
Yeah. William Shatner.
William
Shatner.
No.
He's not doing much by 1973. he's looking for work.
He'd be on the Love Boat or something.
He'd fly over.
Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
More likely to get Ricardo Montalban.
You'd have him as Mark Corey, and you'd get your spin-off series. Because that would be genius. If you had him as Mark 7, you'd get your spin-off series. Just
From hell's teeth, I spit at thee.
someone turned the android off. He's gone Khan again.
So we're getting off track with Lowry. Who's playing Lowry? Who was Lowry in the original? Was he anyone?
Jeremy Young.
Jeremy Young. Oh, Car or Zar, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Cal.
Yeah, Cal.
Zar.
And everything else in the Avengers and Adam Adamant and another one of those actors who just turns up all the time in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and is still alive.
Okay, let's make it Paul Darrow.
Sorry, Jeremy Young, I tried to sell you there, but no, Barry Jackson got through. Is it because he's called Barry?
I don't see what you're saying there.
So, okay, this is an interesting cast. Good. Alas, the most interesting ones are all non-speaking delegates, but that's fine. So Paul Darrow's trying to repair his ship with a spanner. Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Going, damn, this whole thing is fused into one lump of metal. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
That is what he's doing. In the meantime,
Arrow and Wingard on the screen together. There's some bloody big acting going on there.
The fans are sitting there watching, going, "This is going to be the best year of Doctor Who ever." And then
maybe it will be. We don't know.
And then the season started with Jon Pertwee's The Underwater Menace.
How about Time Ram? Time Ram? You couldn't do it in that old crock. Woof. Time Ram. Londoners.
So yeah, Garvey basically sneaks up on Lowry. But then Corey's, he's his special space agent. He's popped around the corner and he shoots him. So that supposes Barry Jackson for it.
You know, I'm just wondering for a mad second if we should transpose Mark Corey and because Peter Wingard fixing the rocket with his his spanner and stuff, going, oh dear, this is terribly boring. I mean, I really shouldn't be doing any of this. And Paul Darrow kind of staring out into the jungle, going, they're out there somewhere. They're going to come for us. Don't let it touch you. Is perhaps fun.
It's fun. Peter Wingard's the kind of definitely the bigger star at this point.
He is. All right. He's like I said, it was a mad moment.
I can picture Wingard with his spacesuit sort of open to the waist, a big hairy chest,
like Don Quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Darrow's just kind of like totally buttoned up as well. Yeah. No, Darrow's probably got his open as well. Yeah.
He'd be in competition with him, wouldn't he?
Excellent. Has he got a wee medallion saying Special Space Security Service? He has, hasn't he?
Yes.
Has Mark Corey.
SSS.
Great.
Lowry's not very pleased that Corey shot his mate.
No. What the hell?
Corey says it was him or you. I'm not even going to try and do a Wingard impression, but
no, I think you should. I think we should play this soon.
I don't feel qualified.
None of us are qualified for this.
So he points out that Garvey's been infected by a Varga thorn. Varga plants are on Kemble. So they go back in the rocket, but even when he's dead, Garvey's still kind of twitching.
Yeah, he's giving it a twitch.
Yeah.
Twitchy get.
Something in CSO's happening to him, though, because it's 1970.
There'll be more CSO.
Yeah, there'll be loads of CSO.
Like the blobby stuff in the Three Doctors to signify the change. Lots of CSO going on.
Yeah, he basically sits up eventually, and then he turns into a Varga plant.
Yeah, that'll all be CSO.
That would be more CSO-y, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the version I've seen, which obviously has been made by some students in the noughties, it looks like a bloke wearing a pair of trousers and some bin bags.
As far as I can remember, the version that they had in the university one was pretty accurate. Have you not seen the photos? There's a couple of photos of the original.
There is photos. They do kind of look like that, don't they? Yeah.
Sort of furry cactus things with nodules and spikes. Yeah, would have been fairly warm to be. It's a very costume heavy episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Costume department did not have an easy run on this one.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And is it Dudley Simpson doing music for this, or are we having? Is Malcolm being given a go on the valve oscillators?
Malcolm.
Malcolm Clark is clanging away, just clanging.
Or is it? Oh, maybe I think it's Carey Blythe.
Carey Blythe.
It's Carey Blythe, isn't it?
It's
Carey Blythe. Yep. Excellent. Darrow, Wingard, Carey Blythe. No, this is beautiful.
Corey and Lowry go inside the rocket. And Corey gives us all of his backstory, which is that he's a space security agent, and he immediately enlists Lowry to help him out. And basically, they have some conversation around it. Nobody's seen a Dalek for generations, but they're starting to become more active. And Corey's basically following up on a sighting that someone's reported of a Dalek spaceship. And so he's come to Kemble to kind of investigate that. It must have been in the local area.
On his way to a party.
On his way to a party. So the Varga plants come from Skaro. He explains about Varga plants. They've been developed in a Dalek lab.
Dalek throw.
Yeah, the Daleks have green fingers.
Green fingers Daleks. Yeah. Established.
Basically, anyone who's pricked by a Varga thorn becomes a Varga plant.
What was wrong with the clams?
What was right with the clams?
Should have brought the clams with them.
The clams. Oh, yeah.
The clams from the tunnels underneath Scar.
I thought you were talking about sort of 70s band there.
No.
Oh, we brought our band with us.
Well, I think when a clam nibbles at your ankle, you don't turn into a clam. So the Varga's superior there.
No.
Yeah. They're a bit more mobile, aren't they? Yeah.
The clam might be able to move.
We don't know. We've never had our ankles.
To be honest, what you need to do is amalgamate the two and have a Varga clam or a Klaga or something. It'll come kind of after you, and then I got you with my thorn. Now I'm just going to fall on you because that's all else I can do. Yeah.
I think he's getting short of ideas by Genesis of the Daleks. He's like, right,
not as much as we are.
Clams.
Clams, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether there are sometimes so many completely inexplicable decisions in Doctor Who. It's kind of, why clams? Why not make a blob? Why not make a, all right, so it might have been bubble wrap, but it would look better than a clam. It's a clam. What? Why didn't Peter Day, when he was looking at the effects list, no, I'm not building a clam. You can have something else. You're not. No. Strike it out. Don't be stupid, Terry. Mind you, there is that wasp caterpillar in the Daleks. That's a Dalek mutant as well, or a Dalek mutant, and that's canon.
Wasp caterpillar? What caterpillar? I don't
There's
know
like
caterpillar.
Ian looks in the water at one point in episode 5. When they're tramping through the forest.
That tire that inflates.
No, it's around the same time as the Octo Inflato.
Okay.
Inflato, yeah.
Octo Inflato.
Octo Inflato.
Size of a chaffinch.
What?
Size of a chaffinch. Speed of a hamster.
Anyway, caterpillar. And there's a bit of stock footage of a caterpillar turned upside down going, nibble, 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 a leaf or something. And Ian goes, fucking beats it with a stick. So caterpillar. Skaro caterpillar.
Ian is hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what you do against a Klaga, though. But what would any of us?
Thank you, Doctor.
So we cut to the Daleks. We finally get cut to the Daleks. So they're waiting for emissaries from 7 planets. No, actually from 6 planets, I believe. And the Daleks themselves are the 7th planet. And they're looking for humans. I think they're aware that a human spaceship has crashed on Kemble. So they're on the case there.
I seem to think, inexplicably for 60s Doctor Who, this is the only scene that this set is used in.
That's weird, isn't it? Yeah, because on the students' version, they didn't even build the set. They just did it with models.
And I think that's what's going to happen here. I think Barry Letzer's going to go, this is one scene, chroma key.
Be chroma key, yeah.
And so the Daleks are going to be looking horrible,
Yeah.
with horrible blue fringes and bits of them vanishing. If there's a gold one.
Yeah, a little reflection.
Yeah, like the robots, like that, the K1. And it's going to look horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a photo behind them. It'll be an obvious photo or a painting or something.
Yeah.
It's not going to be in any way convincing.
Yeah.
Like Mrs. Farrell in her kitchen.
Yeah, no, it'll look exactly like that.
That's such a hard set to build, a kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah. All that inexplicable shot of Benton on supposedly location in The Mind of Evil, where they've got the missile in the background. He's shouting at soldiers, going, "Get a move on, lads!" I thought, yeah, you had Benton on location. Seriously, you couldn't afford to just. You had the missile there, and you had soldiers.
Could have just pointed a camera on.
Maybe the film got damaged.
Yeah.
That's just like shit. We forgot to do that scene.
Yeah,
maybe he just couldn't get the line out on the day. They're like, fine.
Or it could be a rewrite. Who knows?
Yeah.
Seems like a really odd choice.
He was pissed.
Not John Pertwee.
No.
Nicholas Courtney, yeah.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
So we cut back to Corey and Lowry. They're getting surrounded by Vargas. There's Vargas kind of closing in on their rocket ship. I keep calling it a rocket ship because that's what they say in the actual serial. It's great.
I think it looks like the Thal ship in Planet of the Daleks. I think it'll be flat on the ground rather than standing up on it.
Yeah.
There'll be less of a rocket, more like a shuttle.
Yeah, they're not so keen on rockets in the 70s. Yeah.
This is post Star Trek. Star Trek was influential.
Yeah.
It's just like a doorway.
Yeah, they did actually build the whole thing in Planet of the Daleks. It's quite a big construction. So something like that.
Well, yeah, it'd probably be a bigger set, actually, wouldn't it? Because it'd be sort of the BBC
I doubt it. They're not
studios.
going to have much. They're not going to have much. This is a really episode 1 of any story is always the most expensive. They always say because you've got to build all your sets, all your costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a one-off. This is a really expensive venture.
But it's not in Lime Grove, you know. It's going to be or Riverside.
It's going to look. Yeah.
It's going to be
got more space.
a bit more space.
It'll look like Planet of the Dalek. Well, I mean, the jungle scenes will.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Dalek base will look like. I really like the designs that they've got in Mission to the Unknown. I like the fact it was really sparse. I imagine it just went off into complete darkness.
A lot of it is just black drapes, isn't it? And they're standing on a table with some black drapes, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. I was going to say less likely to do that in the 70s, but then I remember things like the Three Doctors. So I think maybe it'll look like. Sorry, I'll let you get to it first. Carry on.
No, carry on, because I mean we've got time to fill.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about the sets. I think it'd be nice if they looked a bit like the sets in Day of the Daleks, that kind of greenish metallic thing. The Dalek base. It's quite stylish. So something like that, you know.
Yeah, put some ramps in. That'd be quite cool. Yeah.
Bits and ramps and raised platforms for the delegates to stand on.
Yeah. So Corey and Lowry are surrounded by Varga plants. There's Vargas closing in the ship, and they're actually outside the ship at this point. They're building a beacon rocket, which they need to record a message to put in there. And we see them with a really chunky tape recorder, like they had in the year 4000. After we got rid of all the digital stuff, we went back to really chunky tape recorders. And that probably be the same in 1972, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they'd have compact cassettes by then.
It'll be a cassette, yeah. It'll be a cassette.
Yeah.
Or an 8-track.
A cartridge that he slots in, sweet.
Yeah, more likely. Yeah. So yeah, they need to record a message, and they look up and they see.
And they're arguing about who's doing it because they're both thesping the fuck out of it.
Yes.
This is Paul Darrow and Peter Wingard. Let's not forget this. We shouldn't gloss over these moments.
No, we should enjoy these moments. Yeah, the two of them bitching like a pair of old queens. Yeah, so they see a rocket ship going overhead from another galaxy. We don't get to see it. It was a bit of a shame. I guess it might be more likely to do a model shot in.
They might indeed. Yeah. Or they might just shine a torch on a blue background and go. That's it. It's kind of light point. I suspect that because it's an expensive episode in every other way.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we hear that this is Giron turning up.
Helen Mirren's ship.
Yeah, so this is Helen's ship.
Yeah.
She's getting her gear on.
A torch on a chroma key background. That's exactly what she's going to get. Yeah.
So anyway, we've established that the Daleks are building an alliance, basically. So this is Giron turning up. Corey and Lowry, they take their beacon and they hightail it away through the jungle, just avoiding Vargas and Daleks. There's Daleks in the jungle as well. And they're pursuing them. So the Daleks now turn up and they surround the rocket and blow it up. So they're on the run when Lowry gets stabbed by a Varga thorn right in the middle of his palm. And typically these things just doesn't say anything about it. You think, tell someone.
It's Paul Darrow. He's going to do a fall. He's going to go and do a kind of turny, twisty fall.
Yeah. Paul Darrow would sell that moment, wouldn't he? Yeah.
He would. Yes, he would actually. Yeah. Having said that, you're saying tell someone when the only option you've got to tell is the person who killed your friend for exactly what's happened to you.
That's true. Yeah, he's in a tight spot. Yeah.
And he's got a droopy tache as well. As kind of, want to be killed by that guy? I wouldn't. It's not how I want it to end. Maybe I'll just turn to a cactus. Okay.
It would be nice to have the original episode at this point to see how much she sold that moment. That'd be nice. Because, I mean, fair play to the students, but...
I would love to see... I really, really want to see Mission to the Unknown. Yeah. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, man, realising that he's basically doomed now. It's quite an interesting moment.
I think Jeremy Young will do it very well.
Yeah.
He usually does.
I'd like to see all of the master plan. I mean,
so would I.
More than anything else, I think of the missing stuff, I'd like to see master plan. I think it'd be
even just episode 12. I would just love.
It does just feel really epic, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah.
in a way that it shouldn't really.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I really want to see episode 8 as well. I want to see Volcano. I just want to see what tigers look like and things like that.
Yeah. And Desperous. I'd like to see Desperous.
I'd love to see Desperous. I bet there's photos of Desperous somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, Dalek master plan.
Screamer. I'd like to see what a Screamer of Desperous was like. I suspect it's going to be exactly like the pterodactyl invasion of the dinosaurs. I suspect it's going to be dangling on strings going be bad. But I want to see it.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Peter Purvis, Katerina was a screamer.
Well... Speaking of bits we can't use, I'd use that.
I made myself laugh. Anyway,
we're gonna have to do a sort of all these outtakes together in a kind of too hot for podcast edition.
The 7 hour long.
Pure filth from beginning to end.
We could probably get away with that one. That'll be all right.
I think so. It's fairly subtle.
Yeah, it's so, yeah.
Ish.
That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
So, are we on to the delegates yet? Please tell me we're on to the delegates.
We kind of are, yeah.
Aye.
Malfa is obviously must be the last one to turn up. He joins the meeting.
Gareth Hunt.
With the Daleks. Is it Gareth Hunt as Malfa?
Can we have a minute then? Can we have Gareth Hunt?
You know, you can have
with his tash.
At this point. Yeah, with his tash. Yeah.
He was nearly Mark Corey in this, so let's give him Malfa. The delegate with lines.
Yeah.
Literally, he's got lines all over his face, hasn't he? Yeah.
Well, he has. I think he's got lines all over his face. He's got the ball cap on. He's got the tash. It's good.
He's got the tash.
It's a good look.
Yeah.
You know, you're in the 70s now.
You do, absolutely. This is the epitome of the early 70s. This is. Some of the delegates.
Delegates. Yeah.
They're a rum lot, aren't they? In the original.
They are pretty rum.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've got Trantis. Let's try and go through them and work out. Vaguely what we're talking. Trantis, I think, is the spiny-faced guy who appears to be sort of in a big sheet.
Right. He's got little penises sticking out his face.
He has. Mm-hmm. Though it's all good. You've got the tall guy with the kind of cowl over his head who's got his tit suit. Who's
what?
In a bomb. There's a guy who's topless. Basically, he's got a kind of plastic top on, but it's transparent.
Oh, okay.
And he's got a cowl over his head.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember which one he is. Is he Centrial? No, Centrial's the cone thing, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
Who's great. I'm making one of them one day. I'm just making a
costume. One of them, Bayes. Is he Bayes?
Maybe he's Bayes. Or is Bayes the guy in the space helmet?
Might be.
I'm finding a picture of them now, so I can.
Actually, I mean, the truth is we don't actually know, do we?
We need the names now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody has studied these guys, but we haven't.
Jack Rayner, I believe.
Jack Rayner.
Yeah.
Working. So yeah. Mm.
And I wonder what they were all doing. They must have all been moving in strange ways.
Yeah, I bet they were.
Because they've not got any lines. I wonder if the code thing could even run. It could walk around, presumably, but did it bob up and down? Or did it just sort of stand there, kind of looking at you coldly?
So we haven't got Salation or Zephon. They join later on.
No, they turn up later. Yeah.
Warrior.
I think that guy. I think the guy with his tit suit's Warrior.
Right.
And he was in From Russia with Love as a hitman like a couple of years before.
Was he?
Yeah.
Did he have his tits out in that?
With his tits in.
Yeah.
So that's a relief. Actually, you may have had them out in one scene thinking about it. I don't know. And Giron, of course.
And Giron.
So
do
we want to cast any of these non-speaking parts that we haven't cast already? We've got Laurence Olivier inside Centrial.
I think Harrison Ford must be playing one of them.
Harrison Ford. Well, there's Harrison Ford with his tits out then, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the plastic, so that's good.
Yeah.
But then, they're not going to look like this, are they? It's going to be things like Alpha Centauri.
Yeah. Oh God, that's even worse.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So Harrison Ford inside Alpha Centauri.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Something that looks like a gel guard.
Yeah, with a big claw.
Maybe they look a bit like the delegates of the Tomorrow People.
Yeah.
Which are extraordinary. Or the Thargons. Oh dear. Maybe there's a clam there. Who knows?
Maybe it's the clam. Yeah, the clam turns up.
So this could be anything. Anything could be going on here. One of them could be a chroma key blob, because Barry Letts is just always sitting in the background going, "You could use chroma key now. I think it's time for chroma key." There hasn't been any chroma key in this for about 2.5 seconds. So if you could just chroma key this scene, I'd be grateful. Not gonna sack you if you don't or anything, but you know. You want to hear about Buddhism? Oh yeah. I'm hard. Damned hard.
Do we know who's directing?
Who directed the original one?
No, Camfield did Dalek Master Plan, didn't he?
It was Derek Martinus.
Derek Martinus, yeah. Derek Martinus, I suppose.
Yeah, get him in, yeah.
It's not going to be. Who directed the Three Doctors? Lenny Mayne. Maybe it's Lenny Mayne.
Yeah.
Lenny Mayne was the Australian, wasn't Lenny Mayne was the Australian who came in and said, "My Christ, it's a giant dick." So he's going to walk in going, "Christ, that guy's got his tits out." All that sort of bit.
Yeah, he said, "Turn around and go, holy fucking crap."
Yeah. You'd be encouraging Peter Wingard to go more and more over the top and show more of his tits as well. So this is a proper 70s extravaganza. This is the Dalek base maybe a bit disco? Has it maybe got some finery? No, the delegates are very
72 is a bit early. It'd be a bit glam, wouldn't it?
The delegates are going to be multicolored and glam. Yeah. They're going to be spangly. Oh God, they're going to be horrible.
Oh, can one of them be David Bowie? We get with David Bowie in finally.
Yes, David Bowie. David Bowie can be Trantis. He can have the penis stuck to his face. We can be heroes. Just for one podcast.
Well, the eye patch, Brett. Well, the funky eye patch. Bye, Brett.
Bye, David Bowie.
Heed my advice.
Watch over the table.
The delegates are quite worried because there's been reports of humans on the planet. Most of them don't talk about it. It's just, but they are quite worried about humans on the planet.
Presumably they twitched a bit in agitation, at least.
Yeah. The clams would be really worried.
Held up their hands and kind of like, "Oh no," type manner.
You can see from the way he's clamming. He's kind of,
Absolutely. Yeah, the clam's having a right clack in the corner. He's not happy.
Just need to cut to him every now and again. Just
not moving at all. What say you, clam? Clam agrees. What's that? The humans are trapped down the well, clam? Clammy. Mutant Khaled effort.
It'll be the one they drop before they do Master Plan, which presumably they're doing the 10.
Yeah, drop the clam, bring insulation.
Drop the clam sounds like a euphemism.
It does.
You really dropped the clam on that one.
And as I was thinking, I was just singing the word clammy. That's probably not a good idea. But there we are.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. Check out the clam. Yeah. I'm not going to go any further with that. I'm just
No.
So I think it's
Malfa. Purvis did though.
Apparently.
Someone touch you, clam. Show us where on this doll. Oh, you got no hands. I just want to make a disclaimer. I'm not actually trying to allege that Peter Purvis sexually abused clams.
No, let's make that clear. Yeah, we are not alleging.
It's merely a flight of whimsy, listener. Strange whimsy.
You're just making this up as you go along.
Yep. But I do it brilliantly.
I think it's Malfa who tells us that the 7 great powers of the outer galaxies are one.
Yeah.
They're kind of, it's quite interesting because, well, I say it's interesting. They're kind of, their view of the universe is a little bit odd.
Yeah.
They talk about the solar system and then they talk about the outer galaxies, and we're not quite sure.
I don't think so. Let's say it's translation convention, shall we? Let's say that it's like in the Eurovision Song Contest where they speak it, they give the results in English and then French.
Yeah. I mean, there are sort of galaxies that are around the Milky Way. There's like the Magellanic Cloud and places.
Yes.
All the galaxies. But it does seem a bit confusing.
And I suppose technically galaxies are composed of solar bodies, therefore a system of galaxies is, I suppose, in a way at a stretch, a solar, it's bollocks.
Yeah.
It's just bollocks. There's no way around it. Terry Nation was never good on things like that.
No.
When it comes to science and real stuff, no.
No, he knew about neutron bombs. That was his big thing. And then
neutron bombs. Yeah,
that's where he left it. Yeah,
and David Whittaker could carry him with mercury and stuff. But then after that, it's just
David Whittaker knew his science. Yeah. So yeah, these 7 great powers, they're the greatest force ever assembled. So they're feeling a bit pleased with themselves.
Yeah.
Lowry, meantime, is beginning to feel a bit shit.
Yeah.
Corey comes back to him. He reports that he's seen a Dalek city, and he's heard on the tannoy that the galaxy is about to be invaded. So it's
That's kind of the Daleks. That's good of them, isn't it?
It's really good, yeah.
Because particularly as they know that there are humans out there.
Yeah. So let's announce this secret plan.
It's kind of shut it, mate. Shut it. Or announce something different. Announce something that's going to work to help you capture the humans.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone's listening, we're definitely not going to invade the galaxy.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
We put it off. Geron's come down with something, and one of Trantis's penises has fallen off. So it's postponed.
Malfa's mum has said he can't come out. So it's like...
Yeah. No, I can't. My top Malfa impersonation.
Stop ringing me at the meeting. You're embarrassing me.
Have you noticed that the chap who does it in the redone version does a superb impression of the original, though with a slight Yorkshire twang, which sets the whole thing off.
Yes.
I mean, we shouldn't take the piss. It is a brilliant recreation that those guys have done. And
I'm amazed
they've really put the time and effort and money in. Yeah.
And though I do complain about the accuracy factor of the design side, I know, but it was also done as a training exercise, really, wasn't it? So, a great thing. I think they should do more.
I mean, I watched it again with my family and my partner. We were literally about 10 minutes into the episode. My partner went, "I thought you said this was missing," which was quite nice.
Yeah.
So Corey comes back and reports what he's heard. He's reporting that the galaxy will be invaded and destroyed. The whole damn galaxy. I think they're going to start with Earth.
Which is odd, but there you go.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
I start on the edge, me.
Yeah. Worked way in. Yeah.
It's
only logical.
Has to go to planet, so we'll come back for you. Don't worry. You'll be destroyed. Just go to Earth first. It's fine. Odd.
Maybe they're doing it in alphabetical order and there just weren't any planets starting with A to D.
Desperate. You start with Desperate.
Yeah, I didn't think that one through.
Anyway, Lowry at this point goes mad, which I suppose he would, and attacks him. So Corey shoots him.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of an anticlimax. I would have liked to have seen him do a bit more throttling, but that's what happened.
Especially with these two.
Exactly,
Yeah,
that would have been tremendous.
Yeah. Paul Darrow literally just losing it.
He can do a great fall, though, can't he?
He's doing a great fall. He's giving it great fall.
Yeah.
And Wingard's giving him a witty epithet. Shoots him and gets the whole big fall down. And Wingard goes, well, that's got rid of that thorny problem.
Won't see lots of blood coming out of him.
No, this is Barry Letts.
True. No, it would just be sort of pew.
It'll be, a gun will light up and he'll fall down and he might turn negative. Exactly as it would have been in the original.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, things are a bit desperate now. Corey records his message and he's about to launch the rocket, but before he can...
That's the wine in his hand, just swilling it around, looking figuratively. Gazing at his fate. Well... The Daleks are coming to Earth anyway, so we better damn well do something about it.
I'm thinking now, having heard Peter Wingard's wonderful album, that he might end on a song.
Oh dear God. Might start a song and get exterminated.
Hopefully Neville Thumbcatch.
But yes, of the available choices.
Oh God.
Do not Google it.
Do not go near that album. Yeah.
Neville Thumbcatch is good.
Oh, that's great, yeah. So anyway, the mostly silent, non-singing Corey is...
He's exterminated, yes.
Exterminated.
Corey's exterminated by the Daleks.
Yeah.
And we end...
I think he just finishes his message and he stands to face them and just, casually brushes a bit of muck from his flares and then gets exterminated.
Because he's going to have flares.
Yes.
Yeah, of course he's got flares. Spears flares, man.
Yeah, you'd have flares on his spacesuit,
Yeah.
So we ended on a scene with the delegates pledging their allegiance to the Daleks.
Solar flares. Sorry, that was a bit late.
Earth will be conquered. Victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the end of the episode.
And it's the end of the episode. Great. And that'll be followed up on one day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably in the Matt Smith era, but yeah.
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 It's going to be Troughton. We're going to get it for Troughton, tell you. Because, of course, we're going to get it for Troughton.
Almost makes more sense if it's Troughton, because then it's kind of, okay, this leads into what's already happened. I see.
Well, that was one of the reasons why I thought, you see, if we make an anniversary thing, that it's a callback to the first 10 years of the programme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it started with a tiny little cameo from Pertwee and Joe the TARDIS, kind of going, do you remember the time I told you about that story? When I was younger, and it was Stephen there who was just shagging everything, and so on and so on and so on. And Joe goes, "Why, yes, I think I'll sit and listen to this rather than going out for evening with Mike Yates and Dustin."
The Nathan Dwass kind of goes, finally, an explanation for where that recording came from.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like J&T listening to the fans in the 80s, but it happens earlier. Explainment. So, yeah. Well, that was easy.
That was fairly straightforward.
It was,
better than the original, do we think? Or
vastly. Gigantically. The cast is incredible. I mean, I'd love to see the original, but this is magnificent.
Yeah.
Just Wingard and Darrow alone make it worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Helen Mirren would move superbly as Giron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But and I think Gareth Hunt would be very stoic as Malthy. He'd be remembered as a stoic mustachioed alien. Yeah. The public will enjoy it.
I think years later, Big Finish would probably, when they were both still around, get Wingard and Darrow back in the studio. Bring them back from the dead somehow.
You do a prequel. You do a whole series of prequels of the days leading to Kemble, the weeks, the years to Kemble, the road to Kemble.
Yeah, the childhoods. Yeah.
Road to Kemble.
Yeah. Mark Corey goes down the shop for a coffee.
Yeah. Took a wrong turning, went to Kemble. Damn.
And Gareth Hunt is there with his coffee beans.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did you couldn't see it on the camera, and you're definitely not going to hear it on the recording, but I did a kind of handshaking gesture there that looked very suspect, so it's just as well you can't see it.
Yeah. 3 times.
Yeah, good. You want to give that marks out of 10? I'd give it, I don't know, 8.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I was thinking about it, 7 or 8, I think.
I'm just going to go and find the random number generator. Hang on.
Yes, do so. Yes.
Is it behind the fridge?
It's always really the last place to look, isn't it? It's kind of...
Under the sofa.
Okay, well, our doctor is Tom Baker.
Ooh.
Yay!
And
come on, Dalek Master Plan.
It's out of what? 200 or something?
298.
298.
Yeah.
Is 145.
145. That is.
It's not a Tom Baker story, is it?
It's not. It is Paradise Towers.
Paradise Towers.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good. Can we do the entertainment for that one right now? Just say it. Oh well, that's
yeah. No, that'd be quite fun.
Tom Baker's Paradise Towers. That's good. Yeah. I can see that fitting in easily to either Hinchcliffe or Williams styles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Leela would definitely sort of fit with the Kangs.
Funnily enough, the only Tom Baker era I can't see it fitting in is John Nathan Turner's. Which is
yeah, there's too many women for it to be Hinchcliffe, so it might be Williams. Yeah, unless you take all the women out, just make the Kangs boys, which I suppose you could do for the Kangs
boys. No. Let's have a 1970s girl gang running around. I'm all for this.
Yeah,
absolutely. People.
Yeah.
That works for me. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, excellent. So Paradise Pounds people with Tom Baker next time.
Yeah.
Listener, how could you miss that?
Yes.
Okay, well, that was another episode of Time Ram. Thank you for listening. You can follow us on Twitter by following #TimeRam. I'm on there as @BazTimeRam. Rupert is @RupertBooth, and Paul is @PaulFerry8. I need to say thanks to Ben Jones for providing our music. And we can also be found on Facebook, where we have a group. And we have our own website, timeram.com. There's even an email address, believe it or not, info@timeram.com, which I really should check sometime in case anyone's using it. We're also on Patreon, where if you'd like to subscribe, it would help support the costs of making this podcast. Another way to support the show is to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from. So we'll see you next time with Tom Baker from Paradise Towers.
Meanwhile, over on Patreon, we discuss all the most recent episodes.
I always compare it with sort of RTD, and you read stuff about RTD, and he, particularly at the beginning, he used to kind of suggest all the storylines, and then somebody else would write it, but he didn't put his fucking name on it. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just seems to be that Chibnall is like sticking his name on everything.
It would be kind of like, The Claws of Axos by Bob Baker, Dave Martin, and Terrence Dicks, which is kind of accurate.
Yeah.
Or The Seeds of Death by Brian Hales and Terrence Dicks, which is accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, maybe it comes back to what you were saying earlier, Paul, about you need a script editor figure.
Yeah.
Not figure, a script editor. It doesn't need to be a figure. Obviously, you want someone actually alive rather than the kind of little 6-inch tall plastic thing. Which is, I don't know, script editor figures. I love that. I want Ericsson.
I'd put that on his desk, just this little figure that says, "No, Clis, stop what you're doing."
Yeah, collect the really rare Trevor Ray one.
Yeah.
I want a Christopher H. Bidmead.
We all do. They've all got buttons you can press.
He's just got Trevor Ray's voice in his head. "No, Clis, no."
Is that what Trevor Ray sounded like?
Yeah, that's exactly what he sounded like.
16 Mexican.
Like a Thunderbirds villain. Yeah. No. International rescue.
His eyes start glowing.
Right.
Clis, why you do?
Oh no. Curse you, Stingray.
Yeah.
He wakes up in the middle of the night and it's moved. It's there. Just looking at it.
It's shit. Maybe it's being stalked by the David Whittaker, though, who will protect us all.
Please.
This script is no good.
You must be right, please.
Where these accents are. Represent.
Well, the good thing is they're not racist because they're not actually from anywhere.
Well, it's kind of from Stingray, isn't it? Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, extremely racist. Okay, good.
So yeah.
Well, you tell me where they talk like that.
I just want to do this Chris Chibnall psych drama.
It would be a really kind of weird thing where there's this figure talking to him.
Yeah.
Which one of the previous script editors is it? Is it Terrence or is it Christopher H. or is it Saywood?
Donald Tosh.
Donald Tosh.
Donald Tosh. Yeah. He's haunted
Anthony
by Donald
Root.
Tosh. Come soon from Time Ram, an entire new series of spin-off video productions that are the most esoteric Doctor Who fan films ever made. You heard it here first, and we actually might. That's the. And you said the sad thing about it, the glorious thing about it. We actually could.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be good, but they would exist. It may not happen though. Having said that,
all of which is much.
What's your door?
All of which is much more interesting than Legend of the Sea Devils.
Yeah, I mean, script as a homunculi. I'd watch that.